Hello everyone, my name is Rosie and welcome back to my channel, the place on the internet where we make collage art. You might remember that we started a series of monochromatic collages a couple of months ago, and I've made 4 collages that are all made from one color of images. So we have red, green, blue, and purple that I've done so far. And I thought we needed to finish out this series so we can create sort of a full rainbow. So the colors I have left are yellow and orange. Now, I didn't really want to do these colors in the first place. One, because yellow and orange are sort of similar, and I think there's going to be a gray area where I'm not exactly sure if the image is orange or yellow, but we'll cross that bridge when we get there. And I also think that those two colors, there might not be a whole lot of images that are purely that color, but we'll have to explore, have to see what we can find. So let's get hunting and see if we can make a full rainbow of monochromatic collages. After collecting a whole bunch of images, I went ahead and separated them into a yellow and an orange pile. When searching, I was looking for things that were very specifically and very obviously yellow. Things like school buses, lemons, even French fries. Those are pretty typically, notoriously yellow things. I thought those would sort of ground us in a nice yellow base. But I also needed a yellow subject, and I did find a couple of people in yellow clothes that I thought maybe could play that part. On the orange side, there were less obvious things, but I still managed to scrounge up some orange elements, such as a pumpkin, some fish, a giraffe, a couple of mushrooms, some flowers and planets. A lot of smaller elements in this pile, but I can probably still make this work. So I'm pretty sure this school bus is going to fit perfectly in this girl's hands. Like she's walking away with a school bus. Yep, that's perfect. Oh my God, it's so good. I also might cut the school bus in half so I can separate the two ends a little bit and make a school bus feel a little bit longer so we can see a little bit more, I think, coming out this end. That's kind of a minor thing, but I think that that is a really perfect base for this collage. This girl carrying the school bus, that's so good. All right, let's see what else we've got around here. It might be fun to have French fries coming out of something, maybe out of her backpack or maybe out of something else. I'm not exactly sure. Maybe if we did have the French fries coming out of her backpack, we could also use this hand coming in like he's trying to grab the French fries. That's kind of funny. I do think it's a lot happening right here. So we have the school bus and then the French fries on the hand. All the action is happening right there. So it probably would make more sense to have this French fry hand thing happening somewhere else on the composition. I'm not exactly sure where yet. Maybe the French fries can come out of these shoes. I don't know yet. So I like the idea of these French fries, but I also have a bunch of these lemon type things, and I could also find some sort of leaf plant thing that is a little bit yellowish to combine with the lemons. And I think that maybe having her walking on that might tie in better to the series. And then maybe with the orange one, we could have it tie more closely to one of these two and not have a plant in that one and have it be more space or planet related maybe. I am gonna take out the French fry thing and try the lemons and see if that plant direction makes a little bit more sense. Now, I know this branch is not a lemon tree branch, and it's only sort of vaguely yellow, but we're gonna see if we can make sort of a Frankenstein plant a little bit. I was thinking about this, and I kind of like the idea of being able to call this piece When Life Gives You Lemons. I don't know, maybe it's sort of like When Life Gives You Lemons, Steal a School Bus. That doesn't make any sense, but I kind of like the idea of that. See, that's not horrible. That's kind of a fun Frankenplant. I didn't cut out this white part here, but I will do that eventually. That's not a horrible Frankenplant. And what do we do with the wedges? I don't know. And I did really like this hand, so maybe we can figure out a way to include that. I'm already really liking this layout a lot better than the French fry one, and I think that it matches the series a lot better. It reminds me a lot of the red collage, which has this lady holding the fish, and I think that this is sort of reminiscent of each other, which I kind of like, because, you know, we're making a little bit of a series. But I do want to add maybe another element. Maybe this little bus is driving. Well, maybe that's too many buses. If we have a school bus up there, should we also have another bus? Probably not. Okay, forget that. Oh yeah, that's already a lot better. I love how you can see much more of the school bus. I am actually feeling really good about this composition. I think that it is surprisingly really good. I do still have to cut out this white between her legs so we can see that leaf behind there. That's the one little detail thing I need to do still. But I think we should put this off to the side and start working on the orange collage, and then we'll sort of wrap them up together once we have that one in a better place. And by better place, I mean started at all, because I haven't even started it. Here are all our orange pieces that I gathered. Now, I found this giraffe and thought that this guy really had to be sort of the focus for the piece. I love how big he is, and I just think his mouth, we have to put something in his mouth. I'm not entirely sure what it's gonna be yet, but I just have a feeling that this giraffe needs, I don't know, to be holding something fun. So let's get some of this stuff cut out and see if we can figure out anything fun. I do have 2 giraffes. That might be a little bit too much. We probably don't need both of them, and I really like the big one, so we might just use him. But let's start getting some of this stuff cut out. Now, I do really want our giraffe friend here to be the center of this collage. I think he's looking perfect like that. And then I'm thinking we can put a planet in the background. That might be kind of nice. And then I was thinking maybe this cat could be sitting on the planet because he's just really cute. He's looking at the giraffe. Now, I think the giraffe could have something in his mouth, perhaps a mushroom. Maybe this mushroom instead. Is it a little bit smaller? No, too small. That's funny. I need to cut his mouth open so we can put the mushroom inside so it really looks like he's eating it. Oh, I love that. That's funny. That's kind of nice. Now, I do think it's just a little bit weird that the giraffe is sort of just cut off right here. So we might need to find something to sort of cover that up. Now, I don't think that that is the right solution. Maybe we could do a couple leaves. And if I had another one, maybe we could do that. I do really like this fish. He's making such a silly face. So it would be fun to try to add him in, but I am a little bit worried that I'm gonna put too many elements on this page. So I don't know, I'm trying to be cautious of that. I think I need to find something else to cover up this area down here. Something like this flower, this isn't the right solution, but something coming from the edge of the paper over to cover up this part of the giraffe. I think I might have to go back into the book to look for something for that. Perhaps a building might work. I was looking back over the other collages in the series, and maybe a building, if I could find an orange one, might work down here, and that would help tie this piece into the purple one into this series. Or maybe a sign. That might be another option, because I think that these two, the green and the red, are pretty similar and go along really well with the yellow one. So I'm thinking about elements from the purple or the blue one that I might be able to bring in to the orange one. And so I think buildings and maybe a sign could be something to bring in. So let's go looking. So the fact that this image has to be orange is making this a little bit difficult, but that is the whole point of this. So I did find this building that's, I would say, sort of orange, but I don't think it's quite right for this space, and I don't think it's gonna work. So unfortunately, I couldn't find really any other buildings that were orange that I thought might work. But I did find this TV, this old-fashioned television, which I thought might be fun if the giraffe was sort of coming out of the screen, and that might be a nice grounding element for us. Now, I will say that this is maybe a little bit more yellow than orange, but I do think it might be close enough, and I think that if we all just keep it a secret and pretend that this is more orange, that would be great. But I also think in the context of all these other things, it will feel more orange. So I'm gonna see if that acts as a good grounding element. I also found this squid image, which I thought was sort of just a really nice orange color. And I also just sort of like the look of this squid. And I thought it might be a more fun object to put in the giraffe's mouth. So I'm gonna see if that looks a little bit better than the mushroom. I'm also thinking that this is a little bit crowded in the middle. And because there's a lot of orange on orange, it is a little bit hard to read. So it might be that the planet in the background here is not perfect there, but I'm gonna cut this out and then do a little bit of exploring on the layout to see if we can make it, I don't know, a little bit more interesting, maybe take up a little bit more space. So let's get this cut out and see what tweaks we can make to make this a little bit better. I don't know, I just find this a little bit more fun than what we had before. I do think we still need a couple more elements, and I'm not exactly sure where we're gonna put them, but it does need a couple more things. Maybe since we have this squid, it makes more sense to have this orange fish now, because we have sort of the underwater thing going on. I'm really trying to strike that balance of, you know, enough interesting stuff happening, but not overwhelming, not too cluttered. And I don't know, it's a little tricky with this one. I do really love just sort of, you know, this composition. I feel like this amount of elements is, you know, really nice, but I do feel like it needs, you know, a couple other things. But again, if I look at our past collages, the purple one, I would say, you know, is similar in its complexity. Maybe it's taking up, you know, a little bit more of the page than this one. But if we look at the blue one, there's, you know, 5 elements on this one and only 4 elements on the orange piece. So I do feel like we need one more thing, but it is pretty good compared to the series. So I keep trying to remember that. And I really do like this cat, although it is maybe a little bit too big and is sort of competing with the giraffe. So I was able to find a smaller version of our cat illustration here from the same book that I found this one. And it's not a whole lot smaller, but I think it's just smaller enough to have it fit better on this composition. I felt like before it was sort of taking away a little bit from the giraffe because of how large it was. And now I feel like it's more just like a little accent off to the corner to help balance off the weight of the giraffe and the squid. So I'm gonna call this collage here, I'm gonna call it good, because I think it's the same level of detail as our other pieces. So now I just need to glue, make some final touches, and we will have finished our completed rainbow series. And with these two collages, we were able to finish our entire rainbow series of monochromatic collages. So now we have a yellow, an orange, a red, a green, a blue, and a purple. Now I know in the rainbow, indigo and violet are two things. I don't know how I was going to tell those apart with images, so we're smushing them together for one purple. I think that's fine, close enough to a full rainbow. This series turned out so fun, and I think all of the pieces work really well together as a set. I did very consciously try to keep that in mind as I was building these, trying to keep some of the elements consistent, at least between some of the collages, so there was at least a couple of threads that held everything together. And by keeping the composition really consistent throughout all the pieces, by having everything sort of floating on a white background, a white piece of paper, keeping that consistent throughout all of them ties these together even more. Overall, I'm really happy with how this series turned out. I hope you all enjoyed this video, and I would love to know in the comments below which of the colored collages is your favorite. I think mine is purple, although I do really love the red collage. Anyway, I would love to know which one is your favorite. So I hope that you enjoyed this video, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye!